What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I'm Chris, 183.
What up, Chris? I just saw you in person, and then the Knicks won the championship, so thank you for the good luck.
I'm not going to talk about your comments. We're just going to talk about the positives, right?
That is the positive.
Your comment as a Knicks fan was you gave up all hope on that game.
No.
And I told you to hang in there, and guess what?
Absolutely not. We left at halftime. They were down. I went home. I put the TV on, and it was our hangout that turned them around and willed them to a championship.
Well, that's good. That's good. But I was positive. You have to give me that. I was like, hey, anything could happen.
You did not say one negative word. I don't know why you think I'm going to say that you're negative. You're very, very positive.
You know it's not negative though. The show that? we have planned for today.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go New York. That was great. Had to throw that in there. But yes, thank you for putting me back on track. We have an album to discuss. We have an album that the people out there picked. You picked, the hypothetical you being the listeners. This is You Pick 'em June. And if you haven't listened to any of the other episodes in You Pick 'em June this year or previous years, well, thanks for joining us this time. The way it works is we have folks, we said, what kind of albums, which albums do you want us to talk about that we haven't talked about before? A whole bunch of people put in, I don't know, 30, 40 albums, something like that. And then we brought those to votes. There were rounds of voting, and we are here with the winner. The winning album that we're going to talk about is by a band called Northstar, which we have never really talked about before. The album is called Pollyanna. It's with 2 L's. That kind of throws me off. I think there's also a band called Pollyanna, and I just feel like the word Pollyanna should be with 1 L. So this really confuses me when I was writing the things and stuff. But we're going to do this album today, Chris, and we have a special guest with us. I'll let you introduce him.
Yes, we do. He's a very special guest, longtime friend of the show, has been on the show before, stays in touch via all the mediums, very big fan of this kind of music. And musics that maybe me and Steve aren't as familiar with, which is perfect for something like this. Welcome back to the show. Jessie, what's been going on all these years since last we've spoken?
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me back. Just trying to survive and go through shows and just living life show to show, basically.
Fantastic. We should still call you Jessie, or should we call you Salsia Art? I know that's that's your handle there. What do you prefer in
Jessie's fine.
Okay. Just want to make sure that people out there know who's talking.
Yeah, no problem. Jessie's totally fine. We're all friends, so let's address each other as friends.
Absolutely. So let's talk about how we got here. How we got here is you told us that we should do this album, and then the people voted. And this one in the finals, this one was a squeaker, guys. The final vote was Limp Bizkit, Significant Other, Masked Intruder, self-titled, Northstar Pollyanna with 2 L's, and Pierce the Veil's Jaws of Life. And this album won by a single vote. So every person who voted for this album in You Pick 'em June, any of you could have been the sole reason why this one won. Is that shocking?
Genuinely shocking, yeah. I would hope that it would do better than Limp Bizkit, but to do better than Pierce the Veil is insane. That's an honor, honestly. It's very cool.
Well, it actually beat Limp Bizkit by 1 vote. It was 36% Northstar, 35% Limp Bizkit, 19% Pierce the Veil, 10% Masked Intruder. And Chris, I think you would have been happy. I would have been happy to do Limp Bizkit too.
Yeah, I mean, Significant Other's fine. I would have probably rather have done a different Limp Bizkit album, but
Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water?
No, you're going in the wrong direction. You're going in the wrong direction. Anyway, so look, I think there's like a little bit of a resurgence of people liking that for some reason. Again, it has its positive points, but my question, for Jessie is, did you think that when you posed this particular album by this band, did you think it had a chance?
Oh, absolutely not. Not at all. I think I submitted like 12 albums for you guys to do, and like they all got knocked down. And of all of them, this is the one that somehow rose from the rubble and ended up succeeding.
Why do you think that is, though? Like, why do you think this one?
There really is something special about it. Like I feel like there's 2 kinds of people, where it's either of this album and you love it, or you just never heard it. And like, if I were to tell my friends about it, I'd kind of describe it as like, this is your favorite album that you have not heard yet. If you're a fan of like, early Brand New or early Taking Back Sunday, this is right up your alley.
That was my next question, and you answered it before I could even say it. I was going to say, finish the sentence. If you are a fan of blank, you would end up really liking Northstar, or maybe even specifically this album. I personally don't know enough about Northstar to be able to say that all their albums sound like this, but I definitely see that comparison after listening to this particular album.
Yeah,
so
same.
I agree.
Let's clarify a little bit. There's not that many albums, right? This is their second of 2 albums. This album came out April 20th. So that's 4/20, 2004. They had one, this was their second one. They had one album called Is This Thing Loaded that came out in 2002. The year after this came out, they broke up. That was it. So I feel like they kind of have this status maybe as like a cult type of band. Jessie, does that sound right?
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of strange. Like, they really did put out a great album, but for some reason, it just never had the reach of the other albums of like Tell All Your Friends or Your Favorite Weapon. I'm not sure why or how.
That's the question I wanted to ask. And we haven't even gotten into whether Chris and I know, or I don't know Northstar. I know Northstar because I saw them one time. I wanted to share this with you guys. The one time that I saw Northstar, this lineup is completely bonkers. And I've probably maybe have brought up the show before, but I saw them in 2003. So before this came out, the headliner was Rufio. The openers were Motion City Soundtrack, Northstar, and opening the show was Fall Out Boy. So,
oh my God,
yeah, I was kind of there to see the bookends, Fall Out Boy and Rufio, and then I got Northstar and Motion City Soundtrack. I honestly, I cannot tell you I remember anything about the Northstar set. I kind of had the mindset back in that day that this sounding music, like I had enough of it from Brand New and Taking Back Sunday, and I didn't really need more. That was a stupid thing because it kept me away from bands like Bayside in the early November. That was stupid. And I think if I knew this back then, I think I would have liked it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm just still blown away by that lineup. That is absolutely insane. I mean, the money I would give for that today.
For that ticket. It was in State College, Pennsylvania, at the Crowbar, middle of nowhere.
You are so lucky. I mean, just to see Northstar alone is amazing, but to see that lineup, especially Fall Out Boy at that point, good God, you were so lucky.
In my notes, I wrote it out wrong, though. I wrote Northstar 2 words. Northstar is 1 word, not to get all semantics on us, but obviously I'm a little hung up on the L's and the spaces, so maybe I should fix that now. Chris, what do you have any experience with Northstar?
First of all, I feel like I should have paid more attention to what was at the Crowbar when I was there, because I would have seen bands there. I would have seen shows you would not have seen because I was there several years earlier.
Definitely, 100%.
But I didn't. I paid no attention. I spent my money on beer and going to get unlimited pitchers of Captain and Coke. So
you had to go to that little record store. I don't remember what it was called. You had to go to the record store to buy the tickets to the Crowbar. They sold them at, that place. It was like a downstairs right on College Avenue.
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but yes, I do. And
probably
so,
College
yes,
Records.
In hindsight, it sounds like I missed potentially some really good shows. No, I've never ever heard of this band. I can't even say that I remember somebody saying, "Oh yeah, bands like I like this Northstar." No one's ever mentioned Northstar. I don't remember ever coming up in conversation, but I see where it fits right in. And maybe it's because they were so short-lived that I didn't hear too much about them. But I'll tell you what, doing some research, it sounds like there's some pretty big name bands that potentially did garner some influence from the band, from this album, or from the band in general, which is interesting.
I asked the AIs. I don't know if you love or hate AIs out there, everybody, but I asked why did Brand New, Taking Back Sunday, and the starting line become massive, and Northstar remained a cult band? And that's the question I think that we asked each other. I don't know if I asked it or you asked it, but ChatGPT seems to think that it was a lack of a major label push. These guys are on Triple Crown Records, so you might be familiar, but it's not one. It's not Fueled by Ramen. It's not anything crazy like that. Less radio friendly songwriting. I think I agree with that. I also would say I don't find one song that's necessarily like the song A lot of solid songs on this record, but there wasn't one that was like, wow, this one should be a massive hit. Of course, short lifespan as a band, and then coming from Huntsville, Alabama, instead of like a major scene hub like New York, New Jersey, wherever. And then also their abstract lyrics are a little bit more on the abstract side than some of these other bands.
Are we all just asking AI questions?
You can ask anything that you want. Sure.
You brought up Fall Out Boy, so I asked the question, why is Northstar better than Pete Wentz? And it says, if by better you mean as an emo songwriter band, there's a reasonable argument for Northstar, but it's ultimately subjective.
They know you.
All
Chris.
art is. That's scary that the robots understand that.
Where Pete Wentz has an edge. Lyrics. Even people who don't like Fall Out Boy usually admit that Pete Wentz wrote some of the most memorable lyrics of the emo era. Arguable. That's arguable. Yeah, so there's a lot of things here. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but definitely something that you'd want to put in as a query because it's worth it.
So, Chris, I want to start off and ask you general thoughts. Is this an album that you kind of got into, or do you want to save that for as we go through?
No, I can give general thoughts. I think that this is not an album that individual songs jump off the page for me. Like this seemed like more of an experience that was all packed into one. Like I feel like the songs did better as an album versus really like picking out certain ones that blew me away. So does it now as you know, like I am a fan of brand new music, and you know this is similar to that, and so I think there's a lot of similarities that really draw my attention. I also like the fact that you know this is a different type of emo music. It's not as, you know, when you think of emo, a lot of times, you know, emo music does incorporate, you know, a lot of different tendencies is probably the best word, you know, potentially some screaming, you know, potentially like really just dark relationship stuff. Like I think they definitely, you know, don't go totally dark, but talk about serious stuff. They don't just talk about relationships. They talk about other things too that are related to life. And I kind of like that direction. But this band also mixes in some upbeat stuff that actually sounds really good. So I think overall, you know, can't say like I'm a huge fan of their sound. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I feel like this one is one that potentially would grow over time, but it didn't hit me across the face the first time through.
Okay. Jessie, what was it about this record that made it important to you?
You know, I'm not too sorry. There's something about the first time that I heard it that I wasn't sure what to expect, because I'm like, this is the band that helped inspire one of my favorite albums. And as I'm listening to it, I'm taking it all in, and as a guitarist, I can hear certain things that are really impressive. Like the songs are deceptively complex. If you're just a casual listener, you might not catch some of the more intricate guitar parts. And then lyrically, like the guy is out of this world. I'm not going to lie and say I understand all of it. A lot of it clearly is like up for interpretation. But a lot of the lyrics were not just your typical like, we broke up and I'm sad. I'm going to go drink with my friends, headed to a party. It's so far removed from like what got me into that kind of music to begin with. And it just, yeah, there are certain things that really do resonate with me. Just yeah, as a listener and as a musician, that's like, as I was just talking about, what's the guitars like and what are the lyrics like? What are they trying to say? And just the general sound. To Chris's point, yeah, like there's not a lot of songs that are, you know, necessarily catchy, and the whole album is an experience. It's something that's got to be experienced as a whole. But I will admit there are certain courses that do stick with me, and this is probably going to sound a bit I don't know, some people are probably going to get upset with me saying this, but if I were to make a trinity of tell all your friends, um, your favorite weapon, and this album, for me, this album's on top.
It's a strong opinion, but that's
Yeah.
yours.
No one's going to agree with it. I get it.
Well, if you agree with that, chime in. Tell us.
What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I don't know too much about Northstar other than like I've heard the name. You know, I've definitely heard the name, and I saw them once, like I said, but I didn't have any expectations coming in. If you asked me if they were pop punk or emo or post, like I probably wouldn't have even had the answer to that question.
Mhm.
But listening to this album, I thought that most of the album was really good. But it kind of doesn't surprise me really that I missed it. It as I mentioned, it does not have that one song that's just like so good and so catchy that it must be repeated and then like draws you in and then kind of sucks you in to get obsessed and listen to the whole album or anything like that. I feel like it had songs that stood out compared to the others, but it didn't really have that like hit. Not that it has to be a commercial hit or anything like that. It just didn't have like that one like blast. But when you listen to it in its entirety, it is really solid throughout. I think we're going to talk a lot about the guitars, the lyrics. There's a lot of lyrics. They're interesting. You may understand them, you may not. I tried to print them out as I usually do, and it was really annoying because there's not a lot of like lore. Like most of the regular lyric websites, I had to go a little deeper, and the copy paste really pissed me off. But I got it done, and I mostly were right. But overall, I enjoyed this listen, so I'm excited to kind of get through and break it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to depend on you for some of these lyrics.
I have them printed. I can try and help where I can.
Because I didn't do any of that. I just assumed that the lyrics were something.
Just because I printed them out and read them while I listened does not mean that I fully took them in. So when you say you're going to lean on me, we're both going to lean on Jesse. So this is for you. No pressure. No pressure.
Okay.
Speaking of lyrics, really quickly, I normally like to go on to Lyrics Genius just to go and get a little bit of insight into what's happening. Nearly every song, there is not a single note. No one had anything to chime in with, so we are all stranded trying to figure this out.
Yeah, my go-to site, I think it's usually like it's either AZ Lyrics or P Lyrics. Like one of them didn't have the lyrics, or the site wouldn't load when I was trying to do this, and I had to go to some other site, and it did. I don't know what site I used, but it was like when I would copy and paste, it would have all this garbage in the middle, and the spacing was off. It was rough, but
that sounds like a headache.
Yeah,
but the sacrifices that we make for the show, and
absolutely.
Before we kind of get in and talk about the record in its entirety, let me give a quick shout out to our patrons. We got Tom, Jeff, Punk Rock Mom, Punkish Dad, Punkish Dad's friend, Chris P, Ashley, Jason, Sam, Chris W, Nick, Steve C, Steve Kelly, and Dr. Bernie. Thank you guys for subscribing. If you want to subscribe, we'll give you the info at the end. So anything else before we get into the record?
No, but is that Tom actually Tom DeLong?
Yeah, that's Tom DeLong.
Patron.
Yeah, he gives us $5 a month. Thank you, Tom DeLong. Appreciate that. Helps us keep the lights on. Jesse, anything else in generalities before we do this track by track?
No, I'm ready to dive in.
All right, we'll dive in. We shall, and we always let our guests. You picked them. The people out there officially picked it. So, by the way, we're talking about this album. So, cult classic or not, there's enough people to beat out Limp Bizkit, and here we are talking about it. So, we are the members only, and you can kick us off with 4 members only. That was to you, Jesse.
Sorry about that. All right, yeah. So the first tracks for members only. Really interesting way to start it. Like a lot of my favorite albums tend to start off, where they do this thing where it starts off very quiet and slowly all of a sudden just builds up with a big hit and brings you right into the album. With this, it sounds like they were playing music backwards, and slowly as it kind of like builds up, same thing, brings it in with a hit, and you go right into the song. And it's got certain lyrics that I just have stuck with me throughout the entire thing, which is like the lyric of "You move me like I've got new feet." For some reason, I know it may be a little corny, but I'm like, that's pretty romantic. I'm believing this is a romantic line. I'm not 100% sure.
I think he's talking about the Little Mermaid.
Perhaps, yeah. Who knows? This could be from Ariel's point of view, for all. But that kind of runs into this next line, which is, the chorus of "My stereo is blown away, so for now your voice can stay," which and is another lyric I just love a ton. I kind of read that as like, my stereo's gone, but I would rather hear you sing anyway. But it's up to everybody else's interpretation as it is. In terms of an opener, I love it. It may not have the high energy of like an understatement or a dumpweed, but for this genre and for this band, I think it was a fantastic opener.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a fantastic opener in a different way. I think the sound was very tight in this one. Vocals. And I want to make this very clear. I said what I said as an overall thought for the album, but I do think that even though I don't understand them for the most part, or I understand what I hear, which is probably way off the mark, but that makes it fun. I still really like the way our lyricist, I believe, what's his name, Nick? Is that the guy's name?
Yep. Nick Torres.
I really like the way Nick Torres sings. I don't know. It just draws me in. It does give me, vibes of bands like Brand New, like the way that they have interested, like Jessie Lacey has an interesting way of singing. This guy does too. So I think that if it's there and it's not just cookie cutter pop punk, I get really into it. So I think that was my inroad into this band right away. It's like, okay, I can listen to this and, mix that with a very interesting melody in this first track. It was a really, really great intro. And yeah, I mean, I think the only other thing that I'll call out is, I'm coming at it from not necessarily someone that plays guitar. Jessie, you talked about that. Like, I'm not going to catch those things. I think the sound is simplistic in nature, but it's a catchy simplistic. It's good. It's well done. Like, you don't have to be intricate to the ear to have a song that sounds amazing. A lot of bands during this time were able to do really well with that. Some of them even mastered it, and this is a great example of it. But there's a lyric here that I'm not sure if I'm on pace to or on the right side of the page. But does he say, "I will riverboard this machine"? Is that what he says?
I think he says, "I will rip apart this machine."
Okay, so he's not riverboarding anything.
I don't even know what that would mean.
What's a riverboard?
I didn't write the lyric.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, he didn't either.
I will waterboard.
It's like one of those things that you wash.
Oh yeah, the old
you wash
days.
your shirt if you live down by the river, like a riverboard.
Okay.
I got it now.
Okay, a washboard.
Well, but it's for the river. Like, you use river water on it. Not
yeah,
just
but if you need to clean your machine, you could use that same board. You can riverboard this machine.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought maybe it was a bodyboard you use in the river or something.
Maybe.
The lyrics that I wrote down do say "rip apart this machine," but I like your interpretation better, Chris.
Thanks. And I don't think you can buy members only jackets anymore. I think they're not available.
No.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, my thoughts on this one, it had a really cool kind of ambient beginning to this album. I honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. I would call this a pretty mid-tempo track to kick things off. And right from the start, listening to, the first verse, all right, this sounds a little bit emo. Emo is a little different to everybody, right? Brand New is emo, Hawthorne Heights is emo, My Chemical Romance is emo. These are all very, very different bands. But this kind of sounds a little bit more like that, I don't know, that older school emo, that original maybe a Brand New second album. I really enjoyed the chorus and the up and down vocals, right? My stereo has blown away. Like, I thought that was really cool. Even if you don't know what he's saying, that's the type of cadence in a chorus that can get you interested if this is the first song you've ever listened to by them, which it was for me. And right away, I'm like, all right, I feel like this is kind of right up my alley. It had a really cool bridge, musical breakdown. I think we do see a lot of, you said, intricate guitar work and little jam out sessions. Like, they don't have to be like 5 minutes long, but we'll talk about a few of them here. And I think if we're using the trinity that you created, Jesse, I think in the middle of those, right in the middle, that overlapping Venn diagram is those harmonies towards the ends of songs. The two singer, whether it's two people, I don't know, or if it's just one singer kind of overlapping on the vocals, doesn't matter. But the harmonies in the last section sound great. It's just the same thing that got me to love Brand New, Your Favorite Weapon. It's the same thing that got me to love Take Back Sunday, Your Tell Your Friends. So I see how these can be connected for sure.
Oh, thanks.
All right, Chris, you want to start off Pollyanna? I don't know what type of track this is. Hint, hint.
What?
No?
What?
I'm softballing it up for you here.
Is that a lyric?
No. Pollyanna.
You don't know what type of track this is?
I was giving you the opportunity, but I feel like you've...
I don't understand what you're doing.
Long. It's the titular track.
Oh, my God.
Where are you? Where is your brain, bro? What is going on?
I can't believe that's the first time in history.
Put it on a tee for you. It wasn't even a softball. It was a tee-ball.
Yeah. Hey, if we were going to make a High School Never Ends alternate t-shirt, it might have the word titular on it.
We can make that happen.
Now we can't because I blew it. Pollyanna. I did look up Pollyanna first before I looked up Northstar, and I started listening to a Pollyanna album.
Oh, the band. They're a female-fronted band. Are they out of Philly? They might be out of Philly. I can't remember.
I was like, who chose this? Like, this does seem like it isn't the right choice, but who knows? Who am I to judge?
You got to experience several Pollyannas.
I stopped after one song. I'm like, this can't be right.
Yeah, you got to expand your palette.
Yeah, I guess I already did. But apparently this is a beloved cult favorite song. Like, this is one that I think is called out in all of the research that I did after listening. Of course, I don't do that beforehand. I do it after. So it was interesting that was the case. And I thought this one did stand out. I really, I think the lyrics here, like the way he slurs his lyrics, it's funny I say this, but more pronounced in this track versus the last one. Like the last one, I kind of understood what he was saying. This one, it was almost somewhat impossible to understand what he was saying, but I kind of liked it. So maybe it's just the way that it's again that style, that slurred, drawn out style that further pulled me into the sound. I appreciated the up-tempo emo / pop punk style song here with really more of the same type of sound. When you compare it to For Members Only, obviously there were differences in the songs, but the sound very similar in nature. And overall, I thought it wasn't bad. I just didn't understand why this one is such a cult favorite. I'll say it again. It didn't really add up. Maybe I'm missing the mark. Maybe you guys can explain it to me. I'm not sure.
I'll give some thoughts, and then maybe we'll acquiesce over to Jesse if he's got some insight to that. But you guys, did it sound a little bit like the guitar lick in the beginning was kind of like My Friends Over You, like almost the same? Listen to it again. It's close. It's not exact.
As you're saying this, if you were to slow down My Friends Over You's riff, yeah, I could see that actually,
and add some grit to it. Take away some of the production. Maybe it's very close to it. Now the rest of the song, nothing like My Friends Over You.
No.
It's a very dramatic sounding song. Like this could be right on Dejan Tandu. There's lots of tempo changes. There are several different repeating sections, including the chorus, that all of them I thought were pretty killer. I thought this one was very enjoyable front to back. A couple of lyrics stood out to me. My favorite line was, "We all bloom faster in an oncoming disaster." I don't know why that one stood out. I always just like to think of myself as like, if something bad happens and you have to like act quickly, like act with a clear head, and that's a cool way of saying it. in a song. And I don't even think that that's what he's trying to say. That's what it meant to me. And then also some crazy imagery. Just a pillow I've used 1,000 times before, wrapped in velvet and filled with thorns. That's an interesting choice for a pillow, and you're saying something if that's the pillow that he's used. And I didn't catch throughout this album all of the little interesting, messed up, crazy lines, but a couple of them stood out there. And I don't know why this one is like the one, but I understand it. I understand that I found that this to be a very strong track. That's all I could say.
For me, I personally agree. Like, I do feel like this is a standout track. In regards to what Chris was saying, it's not a pop punk album whatsoever, but for me, this feels like the most pop punk that they get. The intro and the riff as well, that Steve so great, went ahead and ruined for me. Fantastic work with that one. But overall, I do love the song. I think it's really fun. It's weird. It has this big energy at the beginning, and then it just drops, and you've got him just kind of singing, and then it brings it back up again. And of course, the chorus is fantastic. You look so lovely running through my fingers. And in regards to like the lyrics you were talking about, like we all bloom faster in an oncoming disaster. I love that too. I kind of read that as being like, when disaster's coming, we have to either mature, or we basically have to mature quickly and grow up and take care of whatever's about to happen. And the whole pillow I've used 1,000 times before, something that's velvet filled with thorns, I think is a great way to describe someone that like you may see as beautiful and something that you may want to like touch, but may very well be also dangerous for you, like a relationship. Again, like all these lyrics are up for interpretation, but I just love the way he puts things. Even the chorus, you look so lovely running through my fingers and all that. It's got this weird imagery to it that you just don't find with some of the other bands. Like I love Taking Back Sunday. I love Brand New. Fall Out Boy's got great lyrics as well. As much as I hate to give Pete Wentz his props, but Nick Torres really does have a way with words, and I think this is just another great, probably the best the best song on the album. There's a reason why they named the album after this song.
Should I play that riff? Might be tough for our producer to mix it in, but I think he can do it. Should I play it? You want to hear it?
Hell yeah.
Chris?
Listen, you just want to prove your point.
It's not about proving the point. I want to
yes,
share.
I want to share. Absolutely about that.
I want to share and see if I'm alone.
You act like I don't know you.
I don't need to prove my point. I just want to share.
All right, do your thing.
All right, that's it.
No, I don't think so.
You don't hear it a little bit?
No.
Just a little bit?
I mean, it's like faintly like it.
I can hear hints of it.
There's hints. It's not exact. All right.
It's pretty close.
We can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. Sure.
All right. I'll kick this one off. American Living. This one again this is a slower one. Again, very, very dramatic. It's got a very cool chorus with some nice guitar work. I will say, like, it's not kind of the heavy hitter track that like number 3 usually is, but I did really like it. I think that the line that stood out to me was she's nothing more than a movie that never panned out. I like that one a lot. So that's all I got for this one.
All right, Jessie.
Same thing. I totally agree with Steve, where you've got this really high energy song in the end, and typically, with most albums, number 3 is kind of like your sweet spot where you really like bring someone in and kind of lock them in. This is not one of those songs. It's still a great song, but it's interesting that they kind of left their strong song for number 2, and number 3 kind of brings things down a little bit, slows things down. When I say bring things down, I don't mean in a bad way, just kind of like, slow things down a bit. And there's a lot of great lyrics in that one as well. And just the line of "So dance to some broken chords," I think is great. Just overall was a fan of the song. What did you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think this was great. I think this is probably one of my stronger songs on the album. I have no idea what he's talking about, though, even though, like, thinking back, I kind of understood the theme of this one. I mean, it was about American living, maybe living in the suburbs. I don't know. But actually telling you what the lyrics were, absolutely not. I couldn't do it. I couldn't remember it. And I can make out, like, you know how sometimes with some artists, like, I don't know, maybe Shaggy, you can hear like every third word or something, you can kind of figure it out. Like that's kind of what I had to do here. So but I really enjoyed this one. I love the melody and the tempo on this one. I think some of the standout pieces were it had an amazing transition to the chorus, into the chorus. It was very smooth, very entertaining. And so sometimes like these quiet verse songs get me, like where the verse is like kind of quiet and then it changes tempo. I love that. The slow fast songs, I call them, even though that's definitely not trademarked by me, but still it describes it. It always seems to grab my attention, especially when it's done with a melody that I connect with. So this one was great. I put it's very Hawthorne Heights in nature, but I don't know why I said that. I mean, maybe to a certain extent, if you were going to take the screaming out of Hawthorne Heights and replace it with like a pop punk sound, that potentially is where I was going with that. But ultimately, it's a very strong track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in regards to the American Living thing, I was listening to some interviews with him, and he talked about like growing up in Huntsville, Alabama, how there really wasn't a lot to do. There wasn't much of a music scene, so they kind of made theirs. But really, he said there wasn't much to do except for like maybe go drinking, and that's about it. And so, as we're looking at some of the lyrics, like, it's on fire, my empire went up so fast I couldn't grab it. Living over there, I'm sure may be a reference to that whole idea of like, this is what American living is. There's not much to it, unfortunately.
And this was Huntsville is well, I don't want to give away some facts from the last song, but Huntsville is connected to NASA. So when they talk about these rocket hips blew away the entire ship, so if you find some pieces, just name them after me. Like he's making references to that city.
But what does that mean?
What does it mean? Oh, I don't
rocket
know.
hips.
Is it? It's probably rocket ships. Lyric site got me. I read it verbatim.
No, I saw rocket hips somewhere. I think it was on. I think it was on Spotify. I think you can actually see the lyrics to this song.
I don't really know what that means, to be honest.
I'm seeing rocket hits, which doesn't make sense either.
HITS?
HITS, rocket hits. Wow, so that's really bad.
The rocket was hit.
But these rocket hits blew apart the entire ship. Oh, I guess, yeah, if rockets are hitting a ship, they blow it up. Okay. I think that's right.
I like rocket hips.
Yeah, rocket hips sound sexy.
These rocket hips blew apart the entire ship. I don't know, man. I feel like I know what that means.
That's going to be your new online persona. Follow
You're rocking
rocket
your hips. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next track?
The next track is The Pornographer's Daughter. And Jessie, I think it's your time to kick one off.
Let me see. Okay. Oh, The Pornographer's Daughter. I actually used to love this one a lot. Would learn to cover it as well. It's just the opening line of like, was it? Oh my God, I had it up and it froze on me. Sorry about that.
I can't leave with words like these.
Yeah, I can't leave with words like these. They'll break the bones that hold up these sleeves. It's just so, I don't know. It's, I'll ruin this whole podcast for you guys. I'm sorry. Shoot.
No, you're good.
Doing great.
Yeah. No, I'm not, but thank you for that. No, there's certain lines in there that I just loved where it was something about like being in a boat by yourself, like just focus on me. And if I could pull it up, I can't because everything is.
Well, I'll kick in here and give you a second.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry about that.
No, it's
Thank
all
you.
Good. There were some questionable lyrics in that first verse in 2004. So I'll strap my face to a homemade bomb and blow the bus stop through the parking lot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll just chalk that up to
It's a
emo.
Metaphor.
It is, but this is like, bad shit happened like not that far before that. I don't know. I guess it's fine. Just emo. Very subdued vocals throughout the entire song. But I really did like the chorus. The harmonies specifically were fantastic. They do this fast kind of guitar about halfway through, I would say. I feel like what I would if I was the producer here, which I'm not a producer. I feel like the last chorus, he should have gone big. Like he should have. I wanted him to like do that last one real big and real hard. And they actually do it a little bit in the final verse, just never in the chorus. And I was kind of, I don't know. I just felt like I was aching for like a payoff in that chorus. And still like the song, but that would be my one producer's change.
Jesse, you wanna continue where you left off?
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely some lyrics that are on this album that maybe don't age too well. But some of the things that I was talking about, for example, the lines of forget about what's in the water, just focus in on me. I'll be the Phantom of the Opera. I'll be the lantern you blow out first. But actually, that should be last, if I'm not mistaken. God, these lyric pages suck. But I mean, like little things like that. It's again up for interpretation. It sounds like a very sweet line, but at the same time, like you said, there's those lines of like, I'm gonna strap a bomb to my face and blow up the bus stop that are just kind of insane. And I don't know where he was going with it. But overall, a fun song that's the lyrics are all over the place, and anyone else that like tries to follow along, I wish you luck.
Yeah, do any of these lyrics have anything to do with the daughter of a pornographer?
Not as far as I can tell.
Not directly.
I just wish there was some kind of backstory that they would have given us to the daughter. Like, talk about it. What is she thinking about? What is she going through? How does she feel about all this? You know what I mean? We don't get any of that. We just get a bomb strapped to the face. That's not part of the story.
No.
But this is a beloved song. It's a 5-minute song. This is a long one. Definitely a long one. They write some long ones. I don't know. This might be the longest song.
Yeah.
This one, guys, didn't grab me as much as maybe the other ones did so far, and I'm a little disappointed. I thought maybe there was some artistic approach here that would catch me. I wanted to get into this one. I figure there is some things here that really go a lot deeper than maybe I'm recognizing in the first 3, 4, 5 times of listening to it. It's just not clicking with me yet. So I feel like that's there somewhere and maybe it'll get there, but right now it's not. Although I did get into the song towards the end. Stevie talked about the layered vocals and the intensity of that verse at the end. I thought that was fine. I kind of liked where it was at. I don't think I would have hated it if you'd have gotten your way with the chorus, but I like that surprise at the end with the intensity, the layered vocals, all that stuff. So ultimately, I think that's really the only thing that stuck out outside of that, like machine gun guitar that you mentioned. I did really enjoy that part in the middle. It stuck out as well.
I think the technical term is deca.
It's a very steady track, very steady. So,
as a guitarist, I can confirm that is what it's called. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, professional over here.
I don't think you're right.
I'm not gonna pull anything up and prove my point.
I looked it up. You're not correct.
All right. Well, Chris, why don't you keep it going? What do you think of Like AM Radio?
Oh, it's on a different page. Hold on.
I like songs about AM radio. Everclear has a really good song called AM Radio. I like that song.
Yeah. You know about the Everclears? That's like on their album that no one has.
I love that album. Songs from an American Movie?
You have that?
Volume 1. Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great album. That might come up at some point.
I don't know if I think. Yeah, we have some opinions. I think we do need to talk about that. We'll get into Everclear eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. So I thought this was a great track. I think this one was I think this really was cool. Very lively. Guitars were catchy. Again, the lyrics, I have no clue what I can't even tell you what he's talking about at all. This is one of those ones that I couldn't understand a word. But just the music, the sound, the guitar. This is a fun one. It's not as long as the Pornographer's Daughter, so a little bit more exciting there in a different way. And I really like the back and forth lines towards the end. I don't know if it's two separately guys singing or if it's just him calling and answering himself, but either way, I thought that was a really nice addition to the end of the song. So this one was a green check mark for me.
Cool. Jesse?
Yeah, this one, again, I don't even know why I have to say this. I love pretty much every song on here, but another great one, of course. One thing that's interesting with a lot of these songs is, and this one in particular, is the dynamics between going like having a really slow intro or just have a very quiet intro, where right now it's just palm muting and the dude's talking, and then blows up into like a bigger chorus, bigger guitars, and then quiets back down. It does that back and forth. It's kind of like a roller coaster, which I think that dynamic really does make a lot of these songs so interesting to listen to. A lot of strange lyrics as always, but especially like the end though, where he's like basically shouting, I think is a great way to do an outro. One thing I will admit though is as I was listening to the chorus, there's a thing where he says like, "There's God and there's me." I thought he says, "There's God and there's me. There's sad and there's me. Forget everything in between." I'm like, oh, okay, so there's sadness and there's God. That makes sense. I guess you could say they're opposites, and then you're in the middle. No, he says, "There's God and there's me. There's Saturn."
Yeah, it's my favorite
and
planet.
There's me. I'm like, what? Listen, until now, for over 25 years or 20 years, I've been saying the wrong lyric to a song I love. So, yeah.
That's okay. I've been there. I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked Saturn. Probably because it starts with an S and my name starts with an S. I don't know why. It's got the ring.
Well,
that was
it's got the rings, for sure.
Yeah. This song comes off to me as a very dreamy, very jammy song. The guitars are great, and there's this really light lead guitar that just dances in and out throughout the song. And they have these little quick drum sections. I thought the musicality was really good in this one. The chorus didn't really do much for me, but overall, I thought the song was really good because of the vibe and the musicianship. So it's not Everclear's AM radio, but I do like AM radio.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to The Accident, Underwater. Okay. Wow. I have a lot of words written down here. So it starts off with that kind of picking guitar and the hi-hat, very cool vibe there. You get this like building sense at the end of verse 1, like this song is going to explode, but you're totally faked out and it stays calm. And then the same thing at the end of verse 2, and I'm constantly feel like I'm being brought up this hill for for something, and then I don't get there. And so at the end, you get a musical payoff at the end. It gets very loud, and the guitar lead kind of takes over, but there was no big chorus or anything like that. I felt it was very interesting. It was a really interesting track. Maybe it left me wanting more, but maybe if they're not giving you exactly what you want and they're kind of taking you on this other journey, that's pretty cool. Then that's a good track.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah. I agree with Steve. Like this, what's interesting about this track is normally with these kind of albums, it's a lot of high energy that kind of stays consistent. This one does not. This one really does kind of slow things down, never gets too loud, never gets too big. It's a very kind of chill song. Almost a little, I wouldn't say jammy, but like you can kind of get the sense that the band's really like just taking it easy with this one and really enjoying themselves. And in terms of lyrics, let me see here. I don't really have anything particularly like that really stuck out for me like some of the other songs. And if I'm being honest, I don't normally skip songs, but if I do, it might be this, just because I am a guy that prefers more high energy music. And so, this it is a great track, but not one of my favorites.
Next one's super high energy too. So,
Oh
Chris,
yeah,
What's this one called?
The Accident Underwater, number 6. Did you write your notes on a paper bag again?
I wrote this accident on underwear.
The accident in my underwear.
No, just accident underwear.
that sounds like a Blink song. I love it.
That wasn't for fun. Like that was on purpose.
Did you guys listen to those bonus tracks this week? Quick sidebar.
Absolutely.
Chris, did
As
you?
soon as it came out.
I didn't listen to anything.
The Take Off Your Pants and Jacket bonus tracks, all 6 of them came out. Three not ridiculous ones, 3 very ridiculous ones, and yes.
Yeah. I started playing it on guitar, and my wife's like, "You better stop. The kids are home."
All right, I'm gonna go listen to it. All right, so it's not Accident Underwear; it's Accident Underwater. Is he saying that he bled all over? Is that what he's saying? Spread bled?
Oh wait, I blew up all over the inside. Is that what you're talking about? Let me see.
I'm trying
to find the. I'm just reading the lyrics. I'm trying to find exactly where you're.
He says it over and over again, but it sounded like bled all over. Which okay.
Oh, just spread all over.
Oh,
it just spread all over. Just spread all over.
I thought he's saying it just bled all over, like cut his finger.
No, it's like a bagel spread. That's probably not the reference.
You could bleed if you cut your finger and you have a bagel, you can bleed on that too.
Okay.
You could.
I just didn't have a response on that comment.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very steady Eddie song. More of a vibe. I think the guitar here, I like the so the guitar piece at the end, I think, breaks the monotony a little bit of this one, but for the most part, maybe just a little bit too steady for me. I don't know, didn't connect with it. I feel like, again, thinking about what I said at the beginning about how this is more of like, and just better altogether. Like this would more or less be for me just like a bridge song that I would just sit there and listen to and enjoy, but it wouldn't necessarily be one that I would pull out of my memory as, oh, this is a high point. It's just part of the experience. So that's what that's how I'll kind of end that one.
It's definitely a number 6 track.
Yeah, listen, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that love this one more than any other, but I just don't necessarily see it. And I guess I'll go on to the next one, 202. This is another one that apparently gets a ton of praise for a lot of different reasons. Mia, I didn't necessarily have a ton of notes. I think that what stuck out to me here is that it's some pretty great acoustic work. What he can do with an acoustic guitar on this track was super impressive to me. And the other thing is this, as a result, and as acoustic guitar usually does, it puts you in the feelings. And so if this song is an emo song, it does a really good job being an emo song because it sure makes you feel. But that's about all I got out of this one. I'll pass it back to you guys.
Okay, Jesse.
Sure. I got, I'm going to go ahead and contradict myself. I know I said I love high energy songs. This is far from that. And yet it is easily one of my top favorite songs on the album. It definitely, it's this nice break in between all of the fun chaos that is the other songs. It starts off really simple. And again, this is a deceptively complex song. The acoustic guitar sounds very easy. You could easily, as a beginner guitarist, figure it out, like how to play those first two measures of it. But then there's another guitar that comes in and it takes it to another level. It becomes this very pretty thing. And Nick Torres and Tyler Oden, when the band split, they ended up making this new band called Casino. And this song kind of feels like the precursor to that project happening. Because that project as well has very beautiful sounding guitars, great musicianship, complex lyrics as Nick's gonna do. And in regards to the lyrics here, there's some really beautiful lyrics. Again, there's some that I'm just like, I don't know how that's gonna age all that well. One example is, "Are you okay, baby? Hopefully Mississippi will lynch you like it did me." I don't know what he's trying to say there. Doesn't sound great. But he does have some other lyrics
What was the
on this.
word that you had there? Hopefully Mississippi will
Lynch.
I have
Lynca. No, it says lynch. And that's
maybe
something
someone
I've
changed
heard.
it.
Yeah, it's hopefully Mississippi will lynch you like it did me. And I'm like, that sounds awful. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry for whatever happened in Mississippi. But there are some other lyrics that are interesting, like, with a mouthful of sex like drugs. I just can't seem to switch off this machine that turns ivory into kerosene, which I kind of read to be like, you've got this beautiful thing and it's so beautiful, or this beautiful person that you become almost addicted to. And it turns this beautiful thing into something dangerous, which is like ivory to kerosene. And that's kind of the way I read it. But the chorus of "Does that dress fit all right? I want to know if it falls off at all. Are you okay, baby?" The chorus, I'm not sure where he's going with it, what he's trying to say. And, despite that, it's still one of my favorite songs. I might not, like everything else, understand all the lyrics, but there's enough of it I interpret and kind of the way I would interpret it. And I see it as like he really does have a great way with words.
Oh yeah. I think that whole "does that dress fit all right?" I feel like it's almost kind of a backhanded. It's not a compliment, but it's basically saying like, why are you being promiscuous? Does that dress fit all right? I want to know why it falls off and on. Kind of, I don't know. That's the way I took it, but I don't know if that necessarily like fits the rest of the jam or the meaning, because again, I don't have the full meanings. That's just what I took those couple lines are. And listen, this is an acoustic jam where you can hear the slides of the hand on the acoustic guitar, which is always cool. And the thing is, nothing like about the song like super stood out to me, but I enjoyed it. But here's the thing: if I played Soco Amaretto Lime for someone that had never heard it today and told them to listen to it 4 times or whatever, they would probably say the same thing. This sounds like a nice song, but maybe it doesn't do all that much for me. Or maybe it does because it's got a little bit of a better hook than Stay 18 Forever. I don't know. But I feel like if I had 20 years worth of history with this one, I might enjoy it a little bit more. I enjoyed it, but I might think of it in higher regard the way it seems that you do. But for me, it was like, all right, this is an acoustic jam where you can hear the guitar slides. Sounds good, but that's about that.
Yeah, I think in regards to what you were saying, the whole album, the album as a whole is, as we've kind of come to discover, it's not really meant to be like an album that really is a summer album. It's not meant to be catchy. And so a lot of these are just vibes. Like they're very almost jammy in a way, but it definitely has its own vibe to it. And it's best enjoyed with the rest of the album as like a whole piece. And you're totally right. If you're comparing like this acoustic song versus, New American Classic or Soco Amaretto Lime, this one is beautiful, but you probably wouldn't go back to it. You're absolutely right.
This is a fall album, right, Chris? You're good at pegging albums to seasons.
Deja Entendu is a fall album for sure.
What about this one?
I'd say this is somewhere like October, November.
Okay, that's fall going into winter is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, back to your point, Jesse, I think ivory can be just as dangerous as kerosene. It can be very sharp in nature. Like people have fashioned spears out of ivory and they cut.
You are absolutely correct. I'm just here thinking about pianos and not thinking about the fact that, oh yeah, it's attached to an incredibly large and dangerous mammal. My bad.
Yeah. And, kerosene can be fuel to help.
He's just turning this whole thing on its head.
to help farm equipment grow corn and other nutrients that we
Is that what
grow.
kerosene
And
does? I thought it just
I'm
starts
sure
fire.
there's different things that are fueled like kerosene.
Okay.
I mean, that's the great thing about lyrics. You can interpret them however you want.
That is true. He's right. Do you hear him,
We're all
Steve?
right.
That's right. Absolutely.
This is why I love having Jessie on the show, because of stuff like that. I appreciate you.
I'm a peacekeeper.
You certainly are. You certainly are. Okay, so we were talking about 202. Is it up to you, Steve, now, or is it back to me? I don't know. I'm not sure where we're at.
I think it's on me. By the way, 202 is an area code in New Jersey, but I feel like that doesn't have any significance, right?
I don't think so. I was trying to figure out like what to have to do with anything. Is it a date? Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, usually those kind of things are a zip or an area code, but all right.
I think they mine kerosene in New Jersey.
There's a lot of elephants in New Jersey. They mine ivory. It's the piano producing capital of the world. Elephants and pianos all come out of New Jersey. Should have seen it when I was at Asbury Park last week. There is actually a famous elephant in New Jersey. Her name is Lucy, but she's not a real elephant. It's an attraction down at the beach. Sure.
Gotcha.
All right. Number 8, To My Better Angel. Listen, guys, we had a couple of slower songs and the pace is picked back up big time with this one. I think this might be the fastest song on the entire album so far. This one to me is a banger. It's fast. It's fun. The chorus is simple and kind of ties it together. Even if it's not like the catchiest of choruses, I feel like it works really well here. And this is the perfect spot on the album for it. It's a really good track. You know, we had kind of a dark brooding emo song, then we had an acoustic song, and now it's like, let's pick it back up and get right back into it. So I like To My Better Angel a lot.
Jessie, what did you think?
I love this song so much. And it really kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere, especially coming off of 202, where it was just a slow, relaxing thing, and suddenly it just punches you in the face and reminds you of like, oh no, this is the kind of band you're listening to. It immediately goes right into this straight ahead, just almost like a punk song at first. It's just so upbeat and fast and just kind of aggressive, which I love. I love the term of like, I've lost all faith today in suicidal featherweights with broken wrists and weaker fists. This is the last fight I'll give away. Little lines like that are just fantastic. And what a great way to like bring somebody in. Again, these songs aren't meant to be fun summer jams. And it's interesting to see that even something like this chorus that's a little slow for the song itself is still as catchy as it is.
I think this is the most animated Nick sounded the whole record.
Oh, I totally agree. It just sounds like so much fun. And as I'm listening to it, I can absolutely picture a crowd singing along to the, I can't hold much longer. I can't hold much longer. I can't hold on. This song feels like it's meant to be played very loud at a show, just packed. It's definitely a standout. And, most bands will try to get their hits like in the front of the album. The fact that this is loaded towards the back was kind of a surprise for me. I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, this is a hit. But, hey, so is this band still touring?
They haven't been together in a really long time.
Okay, but then why on Spotify does it give me dates of where they were playing?
I don't know.
I was confused by that too.
The only problem is like the dates of where they are playing are places I've never heard of.
This, maybe it says Grenoble, it says Le Mans and Saint Ave. I mean,
yeah, okay, we're all seeing the same thing then.
Those don't sound like they're in the United States. It looks like there's a band called Northstar -1056. I don't know. I feel
there
like
is a rap group that's named Northstar there as well.
Yeah, this
Grenoble is France.
This doesn't look like probably the Northstar. I think they're called 10. It looks like they're called 1056.
Northstar is on the lineup. They're playing with Northstar.
It's got to be a different band with probably the same name.
It's
been over
saying
20
Northstar
years.
and 1056 are playing together.
Yeah, there was a point where Spotify had Northstar listing both Northstar from Alabama and the rap group called Northstar as well for some reason. They thankfully fixed it, but they may still be getting some of those like tour dates together or something.
Should we go to Grenoble and find out?
We could try.
I mean, if you're paying for the airfare, sure.
Okay, fine. If you want to go to Saint Ave, we'll go there instead. And Vans, or Le Mans. That's in Le Mans. Hey, wait a minute. Isn't somebody that we know going over that way soon?
I don't know.
To France?
Oh, to France. Yeah, I'm going to France. Yeah.
Okay, well then there you go. You can just go to this.
I'm going to be there in August.
Well, can you just go back again?
Oh yeah, I'll scoot right back over there to watch 1056.
This song is great, by the way. So this is my kind of track. I feel like you could listen to this song in the summer. I think this one brings a lot of great feelings, summer feelings to the fold. I love the feeling that this song brings. So I was instantly attracted to this one. We talk about that instant clicking with a song. This was it. I wrote down less emo in nature. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think what I was trying to get to is it wasn't as downbeat or downtrodden, but definitely still emotional, free flowing, but that upbeat nature to it, really works. And they do a nice job with that. So the guitar here, great, the way it chugs along with that faster tempo, it just makes for just a well put together song that I think is easy to enjoy. So I think they knocked it out of the park with this one.
Guys,
I really do.
I solved the mystery.
Yeah, totally agree.
I agree as well. I solved the mystery. It's called, there's a band called Rise of the Northstar. They're a prominent French crossover metal band. And that is who is performing. So Spotify has incorrectly tagged our Northstar with Rise of the Northstar.
I don't know if I buy that. I'm going to buy tickets. I bought them.
You're going to go to Grenoble, France? Okay.
The picture shows Northstar, like the band we're talking about. So, it's October 8th.
Enjoy the French crossover metal band.
Listen, you have no proof.
Nearby parking is available at Parking Valier Cantain, Square des Fuselles, or along Rue Ampere.
Are you going to be anywhere close to this area? Like, can you at least give me some kind of idea where to park or how much it could be?
I just told you where to park.
Yeah, but what's
available
the cost?
At Parking Valier Cantain.
And is that street parking or is
I really have to figure out how to pronounce French words before I go. I have a month and a half.
Are you going to be near Oasis Le Mans?
I don't know, dude. I will be in Paris and I will be in Nice. That's where I will be.
Okay, figure this all out. I need some direction, and you're going to be closer. I wouldn't ask you if you weren't going to be close to this.
I'll scout it out. I'll see if I can reach out to Rise of the Northstar. Maybe I'll make friends with them and we'll hang out.
That's a different band.
Yeah.
Right.
Vic Torres is not going to France to play with Northstar this year.
So you think?
Yeah. All right. Let's keep this rolling here. We got Between Horns and Halos. I think this one maybe goes back to Jessie.
This one, I've got kind of a weird relationship with this one because the first line of looking at a second floor window immediately makes me think of like We're the Kids in America, which is a song I cannot stand. So
We're the Kids.
Yep. Yeah. So it's kind of, I'm like, why would you have that as your opening line when it immediately sounds like another song? But who knows? Maybe he's a fan. But I mean, aside from that, it's just another really fun kind of upbeat song. You see, it started off my love of love, romance, and Valentine ways. She felt so cold, she froze under the sheets while I slept all day. And again, like it's got this chorus that may not be like immediately catchy, but still fun to sing along to. And overall, just it's a nice little way to kind of bring the album to a close. I know it's not the final track, but as we're getting closer and closer, I think it's great to kind of keep up that momentum and that fun that the band is able to bring. What do you think, Steve?
You know, I don't want to say the same word that you just said, but this one is just really fun and it's boppy. It's unlike any of the other ones. There are a lot of lyrics in this one that I couldn't really digest them. They have a lot of tempo changes. They have this picky lead guitar. Everything sounds really good. I enjoyed the chorus a lot. I don't know what Dirty Water is, but I thought this track was actually pretty cool. Waiting for Dirty Water.
Yeah, I had no idea what that meant.
Just a flower with a broken back waiting for dirty water. I don't know. That's what's
Not sure. I do like the line of like Hail Mary's an ale, and then was it the Mary that ails or something?
Yeah, Hail Mary's an ale. A hailed Mary that ails.
That ails, yes. I love wordplay like that. That's a Pete Wentz kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a thinker right there.
I think I understand. Okay, so flower with a broken back waiting for dirty water means that somebody that has been intoxicated has stepped on the plant and broke it and then released himself on it.
I hope to God Nick Torres never listens to this because he's going to be like, I meant none of what you guys are saying right now.
Or he meant every single word.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he'll be like, Chris is my soul brother. He knew exactly what was in my heart.
Nick Torres.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any more lyrics in this one that stand out to you since you have them in front of you? Because I would love to know. I did not look up the lyrics, but I know that I did not understand what I was hearing.
There were so many that I couldn't really, I didn't pull out anything that really, other than what we already said.
Nothing else stood out to you?
No, the Hail Marys and the ale was kind of it.
Yeah, because I'm with you guys. Like, I love the melody here. I think it's a great track in that way. It's the vocals here too are definitely some of the. I think they stand out that on this album. This was a great song. I think that man, they're just like seems like they're getting. I don't want to say it's getting better towards the end, but this album is littered with great tracks, and a lot of them are in this like third quadrant of the song, which is really cool. The fact that they continue on with these great tracks late in the game. So I just need to know more about the lyrics. That's all. So I'll have to figure that out because AI won't give them to me. It says no. It says no. I can't give you lyrics.
I mean, I have them. I don't think you want me to read all of them.
I would like it if you would from the beginning.
Yeah, we'll do that in a sidebar afterwards.
Okay. Nothing else jumps out at you with the lyrics?
No, I'm not really.
The pre-chorus just sounds like a dude that just has been through it with a relationship. Yeah, like I said earlier, and I staggered off my love and romance in Valentine ways. She felt so cold she froze into the sheets while I slept all day. So it just sounds like a dude that's at the end of a relationship where like she wants that she's freezing him out and he's just like over it and sleeping throughout the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I got from it. But the whole dirty water thing, as far as I'm concerned, I kind of feel like that's just like gin or something.
Okay.
Gin?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's something, I don't know, some kind of alcohol that gets you through.
I like those things.
Okay. I like
Talks about idea. Ale. Could be.
Yeah, it could be ale as well.
Ale. Mead.
I don't like mead.
I didn't know that's an actual thing.
Mead is a thing.
It's not.
It was just a thing in Skyrim.
No, that's like in wizardry stuff. Like you can't. I didn't think mead was real. Like that's Lord of the Rings drinks.
No, mead is real. It's alcohol made from honey. There are like honey stores that sell like different types of honey, and you can get mead there.
Honey stores?
Yeah, honey stores.
What?
Yeah, you get like orange blossom honey and lemon honey and like jalapeno honey. You get all these crazy honeys, and then there's like a alcohol section that has mead. We've come home with like bottles of it. It's too sweet. That's why I don't like it. It's like sugar water, essentially.
But then how are they drinking? Like you watch these movies, they're drinking mead out of a big flagon or whatever they call it, like the big things.
Flagon?
Isn't
Did you
that what
watch
it's called?
the House of the Dragon premiere the other day, or is that where you're at here? No, well, back in the day, yeah, they needed to. They didn't have the fermentation methods that we have today, so it was a way of utilizing honey to turn it into alcohol, and that's how you get mead. I mean, I'm not a botanist or a beer maker, but that's the general sense about it.
I've never had mead. I don't know.
You never went to the Renaissance Fair? Had a mead?
I don't know. I think last time I went was a long time ago.
You just had a turkey leg.
I don't know what I had, but no, I didn't have any mead. I don't even think I was 21 at the time. But I'll have to try it. Okay. Didn't know.
I'm learning so much. This is amazing. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, mead. It's sweet. It's not bad tasting, but it's if you like to drink alcohols, it's not the same as like a liquor. So
Well,
go to
I
your
had no
local
idea it had
honey
anything to do with
store.
honey. That's amazing.
Yeah, go to your local honey store. Support the bees. Bees are very important to our
That doesn't
environment.
exist. I've never seen a honey store. Like I've never in my life, even like never.
Do you go to a fucking farmer's market, dude? Come on. Have you never seen a farmer's market?
I mean, yeah, of course. I've seen a farmer's market.
I
What is it called? The honey store?
No, they have some kitschy
They have a
name.
booth.
There are stores that sell. There's stores that sell olive oil. There's stores that sell honey. They're just in
No.
that thing.
None of those places exist where I live.
I think the same store that's in our vicinity, I think half of it is olive oil and the other half is honey. And we come back with all this honey. We have so much fucking honey. We have lemon honey, orange honey, and then there's like the regular honey and the honey that's kind of cloudy looking. Honey is very good for you, Chris. You should
I
have
have honey. I buy the honey in the bear, but then you buy the honey
You
in
should
the
have a
bear.
spoonful of honey a day. It
And
has
then-
tremendous health benefits.
I can't get it out of the bear. Like it gets stuck in the bear, and I can't get it out because it solidifies inside of that bear.
Yeah.
You got to go to the honey store, dude, to get the non-bear honey.
Go to the honey store. You don't need that. You don't need that grocery store honey shit.
But it's a bear. I mean, you can't go wrong with the bear.
Treat yourself, Chris. Come on.
There's no honey store here. There's nothing. I could look it up. I'm
gonna find a fucking honey store in Pittsburgh.
They don't exist.
I bet you there's one within a 10-mile radius.
I guarantee it.
Guarantee it. 100-mile radius, maybe.
No way. There's definitely a honey store. Pittsburgh is a great place for bees. It's a great place for honey.
All right. What's the next song?
We are way off topic. It's not like it's late or anything, guys.
We are at the very last song.
No, there's two more. We're at Digital Me, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Digital Me.
I don't think it's my turn. Chris, Honeyman, you go.
I don't have any notes. I feel like this was a pretty good track, but I couldn't describe what I thought about it. So Jessie, I'll give this one back to you. All I'll say is that from what I remember, it was a little bit different in nature. Like they were trying some different things. It was more creative in scope. So it definitely stood out to me as that, but I couldn't necessarily put it into words how I want to describe it. So again, I will pass it to you to do the honors.
Okay, with this song, this one's a little interesting because we did have some songs that were much more high energy, more upbeat. This one to me kind of felt more aggressive and kind of took more of a minor turn, if that makes sense. But overall, like in terms of keeping the energy up, it did a great job of doing that. But it's also one of those songs that like I kind of go into like just what's it called? Oh man, I kind of zone out a little bit as it's playing. I don't really pay too much attention to it, just because like I am more a fan of songs like "To My Better Angel." So, I mean, overall, yeah, it's still a good song, but nothing really stands out too much for me. How about you, Steve?
Yeah, listen, I thought the lead guitar here was very cool. It's another song that had kind of a darker vibe to it. I liked it the second time they hit the chorus, they add a couple of extra lines to it. That's always something that makes songs interesting to me. And then they kind of break down and jam towards the end and take it home. I think the end of the song was my favorite. I think that it rocked a lot, and I liked it. I liked Digital Me, maybe better than you guys.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just
maybe a little better. I got a honey store for you. We'll talk about it afterwards.
All right, bring us home, guys. This last one,
Rocket City. All right. Well, the guitar plus the rolling snare to start the song is very cool. I always like that. Then they have this like one note strum in the intro, which I found was very weird, but also very cool. When I fail, don't forget me. It's a powerful one-line chorus. It's just repeated. I like it when Nick elevates his lyrics. It sounds very strong. So, and again, Rocket City, as I mentioned earlier, is a connection to Huntsville, Alabama, because of the NASA connections there. So I thought that it was cool to kind of end. Essentially, they're ending their careers with a song about where they came from. Not that they knew they were ending their careers when they recorded this, but that's what happened. So I thought this was a cool way to end the album. Maybe not one of my favorites, we'll see, but I liked it.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's actually a really great way to end the album. I'm sure, they didn't have any idea that this would be like the last album of this band's career, but it is a really good way to kind of end the album itself. In a way, it kind of gives me that same vibe of, and I'm not sure if you'll agree with me, but like I'm Sorry at the end of Dude Ranch, we're kind of, it's a bit of a slow start where there's this sense that, yeah, this is the final song. And thanks to you, Steve, pointing out the whole NASA thing. I'm like, I live near Huntsville. I should have remembered that. These lyrics take on a whole other meaning. Particularly like at the end where he's saying like, if I stay here, I'll be dying forever. And like, well, I'm not scared to fly, just need golden wings. The kind that'll burn the sky and knock the stars down to die. I didn't even think about like, oh yeah, he lives in a town that's all about NASA and rockets and going into space.
You don't typically think of Huntsville, Alabama. It's like, I mean, I don't know all about it for sure, but you don't think like you think, Houston, we have a problem. You think about like Cape Canaveral, but you don't necessarily think about Huntsville, Alabama.
Exactly, yeah. And as I was talking about before with some of the interviews I'd heard of him, hating that he, being stuck in Huntsville where there wasn't really a scene, there wasn't really a lot to do. When he says, like in the post-chorus, if I stay here, I'll be dying forever. It totally takes on that. You understand a lot more of like what he's saying with this as he's ending this album, and it's definitely exactly how he felt at the time. Like he doesn't want to be stuck in Huntsville, and that's just his life, just every day, the same thing. Getting with buddies, drinking, and then you never leave. So I think it's a great way to kind of end the album, is being like, I don't want to be in this place. I want more. And of course, the sad part is that was the end for the band.
Yep.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, but that's self-inflicted. I mean, they decided to go that route, right? Like that was their decision to break up. I mean, I don't know. Do we know what the circumstances were for the breakup? Does anybody know?
I don't.
Well, not the exact circumstances about who or what was going on necessarily. It wasn't about necessarily creative differences. It was more along the lines of like, I guess there was some substance abuse or alcoholism. They didn't say specifically who, but there just came a point where like it stopped being fun. And you can't be a touring band forever. Someone's got to pay the bills. You don't have health insurance. It's not easy. And for them, they weren't a band that was really catching on the way I wish that they could have. And they were just kind of suffering. And so as time went on, I'm sure things got more strained, and they came to a point where we're just like, we're not really having fun anymore. Do you really want to do this still? And it kind of came to a consensus of like, look, I think we're done here. Everyone's like different parts of their life. Some people are having kids. Some people just are like, I need to get a real job. And that was the end. A few of the guys still kind of came back around and were able to do this new project of Casino, but they couldn't keep this particular project going.
And it probably wouldn't be a giant leap to say that they were most likely on the road a lot. If Huntsville, Alabama is not the emo scene in 2004, like in order to try and get yourself seen and known, you got to get out of there, which means you're living in a van down by the river in uncomfortable situations for many days per year. And I don't know that specifically, but I take a look at that one tour that I saw, and if they played in State College, Pennsylvania, that probably means that they played a lot of dates across the entire country, because it's not an A1 market or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. And, in the interview, that's exactly what he said, was the fact that like they have to drive 12 hours in a van with a bunch of dudes, and that's not easy, just to go and play 30 minutes for a crowd and meet the fans. It's like hour of like 30 minutes of playing, 30 minutes of meeting the fans was fantastic. But those 12 hours, 16-hour drives eventually do take a toll.
That's real life. That's reality. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I've had friends that toured and they're like, dude, there's no showers. We all smell. We're all hungry. We're eating like crap. The van smells awful. It's not glamorous whatsoever.
Dude, even a band like the Matches, they talk about having no money and they had to split like 2-foot-long Subway subs between, 4 or 5 of them a day. That was it.
Yeah, all that sacrifice. Eventually something has to give.
Yeah, but the smell, like if you're in there, I feel like you wouldn't smell it.
If you're part of the smell, you can't smell it.
Right.
Eventually, like the nose in front of your face goes away. That hopefully that stench will also go away.
Yeah, and then you go into a nasty venue full of people who are sweating and drinking beer. So that also probably doesn't smell great.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I guess since they didn't. Now, they were a signed band. They sold albums. But my guess is maybe they didn't sell a ton of albums at the time. And, I don't know what their contract looked like or what they had to sell in order to make money or whether they made their money based on their touring. It doesn't sound like they were on the biggest of tours, but they were still making money doing that, right? So that's
something that surprised me is the bands they toured with were actually really huge, and maybe it's because they caught them at the beginning of a lot of these.
Was Rufio really huge?
Oh well, I mean, like Census Fail, I believe it was My Chemical Romance.
Okay.
Starting Line, quite a few bands that we love. They were playing with Taking Back Sunday, Brand New.
Starting Line is probably the only one that had the real traction at that point, though. Like My Chemical Romance was just starting. Right? It was the beginnings of them. It was the beginnings of Fall Out Boy. They were opening that tour. Rufio was they were not huge, but they did have a strong following. Rufio's back together, by the way,
which I'm so excited about.
More to come on that. But yeah, I don't know. The Starting Line is probably the one that stood out, and they're the ones that really got the most traction out of them.
Yeah, and I bet that's got to be hard too, seeing these bands that you came up with. And they're all blowing up, and you're still kind of like in the same spot.
Yeah. I mean, to some artists, that's not as big of a deal. But I guess, again, like you said, they have to make a living. They have to make money. It is a success thing, too, I'm sure. And we're just speculating based on what we think. I mean, we don't really know what's going through their heads or why. But, I'm sure that they definitely had some more music to contribute that never got there. So
you guys think if this band came out after like the Midwest emo movement like kind of started to happen, that it might have been a better time for them to succeed, or negligible?
I would love to believe that that's true. I mean, because of course I'm biased about it, but I do kind of feel like if there was that momentum prior to that I think it would have definitely kind of buoyed them up and probably put them in a better spot.
Because when we're making these comparisons, right? Brand New's first record was a pop punk record. I don't think there's anything around that, right? This records 2 and 3 were emo through and through. Taking Back Sunday, I don't know what you. I guess Tell Your Friends is an emo record, but it's hard. It's got some. I don't want to call it hardcore. That's not the word. But but it's not that traditional emo like this. I don't know. I don't want to compare him to like Hot Mulligan. I don't know too much like Midwest emo shit, but this just didn't fit the exact same stuff as the other stuff at that time. So if
Wonder Years,
the Wonder Years, but that's 10 years later at least. Right. So if they came up at the same time as Wonder Years, would they have been more set up for success?
Maybe, but countering that a little bit, like this is 2004. This is hypothetically like right in the heyday of this type of music. If they were going to make it, I feel like this would have been the time that they would have made it.
It's the heyday of pop punk, though.
Well, exactly. And what's interesting is the producer of this album is Matt Squire, who went on to do Panic at the Disco's A Fever We Can't Sweat Out, which is very interesting because, this band came out before Fall Out Boy hit, before Panic hit, before My Chem really became big, and I think Steve might be right. unfortunately may have literally been ahead of their time in regards to the style and the way that they play and the way that they write.
But lucky
But
for
then
them,
again,
they may have paved the way. You know, one could say if they influenced some of these other artists.
mhm,
You're trying to tell me that emo wasn't big in 2004?
No,
not
I'm
as
not
big.
trying
Well, I
to say
mean,
that.
you did have bands like My Chem was definitely coming up. The Used was definitely establishing themselves as well, but it was still very much like at the ground level of like the percolation of the scene really beginning to blow up.
Do you guys know Sunny Day Real Estate?
Yeah,
I don't know them that much. Are they in the same vein as Northstar
I
or not
I would
really?
say. I mean, personally, I think it's a more evolved sound, but not really.
Because I
I
know
mean,
that emo,
like,
obviously emo was growing at this point in time,
mhm,
right? I just think that there were bands that were more similar to at least this record, a little
yeah,
bit later on. And if
mhm,
we transported Pollyanna, maybe 10 years down the line, I don't know. I just think maybe they would have had a better chance at success. And it's hearsay, it doesn't matter, but it's fun
Yeah.
conversation.
But I mean,
mhm,
my final point is that even with the percolation, like the excitement for this kind of music was growing. So I still think it was, a decent time for them to catch, uh, just as much as any other time. Do I think you're wrong, Steve? No. I think that they definitely would have fared well in that time period too. But I think that is a testament to this album and why that now people look back on it like they do, as
mhm,
an album that pioneered, certain things that influenced, a bunch of different bands and hypothetically has some really, really amazing tracks to it. Some people feel like the majority of them are amazing, which I wouldn't necessarily argue with. It's just some of them just aren't my style. And that
But the
mhm.
said,
thing is, go ahead,
just to
sorry.
wrap things up real quick, I didn't have any additional thoughts on. I think you guys pretty much covered it on Rocket, so we're good to move forward. But I think you had some comments you wanted
I
to
just
share,
wanted to say
Steve.
the thing that this album is missing.
Mhm.
This album is missing Jude Law and A Semester Abroad. This album is missing Cut from the Team, Cute Without the
Mhm.
E. Like it's just missing that one fucking track that the entire scene is like, holy
Mhm.
shit, this is so good. There's
It's an anthem,
A
an
mega
anthem.
hit,
essentially.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for finding my word. Like that's what it's missing. It's a
Mhm.
it's a collection of 11 really good songs that you could pull awesome things out of.
Yeah.
If they had the anthem, not the Good Charlotte song. If they
Yeah.
had the anthem, maybe the Good Charlotte song.
Mhm.
Throw all your hands up. Then maybe it would have gotten better. I just was a dramatic pause. Thank you. Okay,
That would have been
we
worse.
can move on.
That would have been worse. That would have made things worse.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Yeah, maybe if they had one more album, we would have gotten it, but they didn't. So we won't for now. But what we will do for now is move directly into ranking it, where we will rank our top 3 from this album, Pollyanna. Jessie, you're our guest, and this was your choice. So why don't you go ahead and kick us off? Your top 3 in order: 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So for number 3, I'm not sure if you guys will agree with me on this one, but I put To My Better Angel. It is a fantastic song, super fun and upbeat. It's just, I think it's a song you can show to pretty much most people, and they'll agree like this is a fun song. I would definitely listen to this while riding in the car with the windows down or something. Fun song, very straight ahead. My number 2 was For Members Only. I'm a sucker for a great opener. I think this is a fantastic opener. And my number 1 is Pollyanna, the one the whole album's named after. It's always been a favorite of mine. There's just something about that beginning riff that sounds, yes, a little bit like My Friends Over You. But it's also, in my opinion, the most pop punk of the songs on here. And so that might be a big influence as to like why it's my number 1. But forever, like if you ask me my favorite Northstar song, period, it would be Pollyanna. Um, is it okay if I give a little shout out to a very close runner up?
Sure.
Sure. 202. I still love it. Weird lyrics aside, it's just one that I would go back and listen to just for the guitar parts because it was just such a pretty sound altogether. I've tried to figure it out myself. I'm not that good of a guitarist, but overall, it's just one that will stay with me forever. Yeah, those are my top three.
All right, Steve, you are up next.
Well, Jesse, those are very, very good opinions on your top three. So I don't have to give any opinions because I have the same top three, but it's in a slightly different order.
All right.
I had For Members Only at number 3 with To My Better Angel at number 2. That was the only difference between our lists because those songs are fantastic. And it was probably pretty close between 3 and 2, but I feel like at the time in the record after the acoustic song My Better Angel just slightly edged it out. And Pollyanna was my number 1. So we're very much on the same level.
Nice.
Can't see. My glasses broke off.
Are they broken? Are you okay?
They're broken. Yes, they're completely broken.
What happened? You're sitting in a chair.
They just broke. I don't know what to tell you. I don't.
Oh my gosh!
I kind of fixed them.
Somebody get Chris 183 some Scotch tape, please.
All right, so I'm going to go in a little bit different of a direction because I don't see the Pollyanna like you guys do. You know, your love of all things titular just doesn't jive.
There we go. Now you got it.
All right. That's right. My number 3 is definitely Between Horns and Halos. Love the melody and the tempo of that song. Couldn't get away from it. Number 2 was American Living. That's right. I like that song. I don't know, something about it just drew me in. And number 1 is even though I wanted to put the Underwear song in there, I'm gonna go with Like AM Radio. That one, it just had this melody that I thought stood above the rest. And listen, I think all 3 of the songs that I chose, maybe your songs too, but I think I don't know. Maybe there's one you could make the argument for that if it just got a little bit more play, maybe a little bit more nostalgia tied to it, that potentially it could have been the big hit off of this. And interestingly enough, I did want to do one thing, and that's ask you guys if you knew what the number 1 track was on Spotify for this band in terms of streams. And if you knew it, if you wanted to kind of guess what that was. Now, unfortunately, my phone died, but I have to think about it because I did glance at it. So the answer is something I think I remember.
Well, I won't look at it now, but I do have my Spotify on my computer up so I can verify. But my guess would be Pollyanna.
Okay.
I think my guess would probably be for members only. No. Actually, no, maybe it is To My Better Angel. If it's not on this album, I swear to God.
I don't think you guys are right. If I look up, it doesn't let me do it here. I swear to God that it was The Pornographer's Daughter.
Yeah, you're right.
What?
The Pornographer's Daughter is number 1. Rigged and Ready from the previous album is number 2, and then Pollyanna is number 3.
That's insane.
Differential between The Pornographer's Daughter and the next one.
Oh, actually, wait. I'm wrong. This was Spotify sometimes puts, for some reason, the not most streamed at number 2. The number 1 most streamed song is Rigged and Ready, 1.6 million. Pornographer's Daughter has Pollyanna has 1.2 million.
Yep.
And Pornographer's Daughter has 1.171 million. Why do they have that like that? Anyways,
it
that's
like
wild.
The most recent streams maybe are on top?
There's some sort of algorithm
trend.
Yeah, where those multiple things are taken into account. Sometimes it is the one with the most streams. Sometimes it's not, but their most streamed song is not from this record.
But the most streamed song from this record is Pollyanna by it's I would say a small margin, but it's still like 100,000.
No, it's like 35,000.
Oh, that's not a lot.
It's not that.
No, it's not
that close. But I mean, for a band that doesn't have that many streams, that is a gap.
But what's interesting is none of us picked The Pornographer's Daughter in our top 3. So
no,
somebody sees something we don't.
People just like an edgy title.
I suppose. But yeah, thanks. That's what I wanted to get in there before we wrapped up today.
No worries. Jesse, thank you so much for introducing Chris and I to Northstar. I think this is probably do you think that this is the better record of the two? What would we get into if we were comparing it to Is This Thing Loaded?
No, Is This Thing Loaded is a great album. But you definitely do get the vibe of like, this is an up and coming band. Like, this is a beginning band. Some of the dudes are in high school, clearly. The lyrics are still great. You would not expect this to come from like a 17-year-old, which I believe it was his age when they recorded it. I mean, the musicianship's there. The problem is they didn't have a lot of time. And so it sounds very raw and very rushed. It definitely sounds like a friend's demo. Your friends are very talented, but it still sounds rough.
Got it. Okay. So this is the one. This is the one we should listen to.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks for recommending this, and to the people out there that picked it.
Absolutely. We should listen to you more often, Jesse, with your recommendations.
I've got so many.
Maybe we'll do another You Pick 'em soon, and you can give us some suggestions that we could vote on. But apparently you had 6 others you put into the mix that didn't make it. Is that correct? Maybe more.
Yeah, I was like, I know a bunch of gems these guys probably haven't heard of, and threw them out there, and they all kind of crashed and burned except for this one.
Well, that's okay. Keep doing that, because I'll tell you what, selfishly, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to listen to stuff that I had never listened to in the past, because it's just cool to kind of fill in the gaps of things that you weren't as familiar with. And this was no different. So I'm going to add this band to my repertoire of bands that I definitely can go back and enjoy once again and let others know about. And hopefully you guys out there can do the same. If you didn't know about Northstar, go check them out. If you've never heard this album, Pollyanna, I would recommend that you go take a listen to it after the show, or maybe you already did before the show and you have your own opinions. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed our run through of this. Definitely more to come, I believe, this month. I think so. We're not done with June just yet, but ladies and gentlemen, we're definitely done with this episode. So with that, again, Jesse, thanks for coming on the show. Awesome once again to have you on. Appreciate all of your takes, and look forward to more takes in the future, especially on the socials. And Jesse definitely is not shy to give his opinion on things that I say or things that Steve says on the socials, in our Discord channel, Facebook, on Instagram. It doesn't matter. Any of those, any or all of them are all ways that you guys can interact with us too. So make sure that you check us out there. We have a shop with some really cool stuff available. No kerosene or ivory on the shop, unfortunately. We should have some ivory, though, Steve. We should figure out a way to get... that's probably pretty controversial, though. I think that's maybe fake ivory. Maybe like fake stuff, so it's not as controversial. But
we can't be going out in New Jersey to get those elephants.
No. But we don't have that, so I don't know what I'm talking about. We do have other cool stuff like mugs and hats. Go check it out. You can get there via our hub. It's www.hsnepod.com. And once again, outside of the socials, make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Give us a rating. Give us a 5-star review. Either way definitely makes us feel better and helps the show.
Yeah, and if you want to support the show, you can join our Patreon. We have a couple different levels, not that much money. You get bonus content and episodes every single month. You can go to patreon.com/HSNEpod to join. I also want to give a special shout out to Bumbleberry Farms in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can go there, which is really close to Chris's house. You can get Bee-Berg downtown honey. You can get blueberry blossom honey. You can get raspberry blossom honey. You can get avocado blossom honey, or you can get sweet orange blossom honey, or you can get the entire collection together. Check out bumbleberryfarms.com and please support your local honey farms and bees. They're very important for our environment. We have one more You Pick 'em June headed towards us next week. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jessie. Thank you, Chris. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, support the bees, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
Dragon Wagon.